Salvador Dali. Few names in all the world are better known. Few celebrities are more celebrated. Salvador Dali himself is the master of those celebrations. Is he a master of painting as well as publicity? His fanatical admirers, whom he professes to despise, are sure that he belongs to the ages. Others find his work merely facile, sporadically modish, incurably academic. Dali himself claims to be no more than a second-rate painter, but he's also certain that among all the painters of our century, Salvador Dali is the best. Salvador Dali deserves the attention he solicits. This reactionary anarchist, monarchist, this prince of paradox, this frenzied advocate of every kind of censorship claims to be the freest individual of his time. Is all this empty bragging, mad babbling, or the simple truth? Let Salvador Dali speak for himself.
This morning, open the window and look the beach of got plenty of television, cameras, movies, electronic devices, and this, for me, is the proof of the craziness of Dali and the help of my inspiration gala obtain one complete triumph in the world.
If Dali's English is a bit surprising, it deserves an explanation.
Now it's necessary to explain everybody. Dali speak in this moment in Dalinian English. It's not necessary that everybody understand my speech, because my ideas is so plenty of substantial elements that only see somebody catch a little particle, a little piece of my speech, this is absolutely sufficient.
Dali has, as a matter of fact, published a method of teaching us to speak English correctly.
Le surréalisme, le pop art, le abstract expressionism is the result of the craziness of Gala and Dali, and this craziness live for 3 years against everybody in this little room.
Since 1930, Dali and Gala, his one and only love, Gala, have lived in a fishing village on the coast of Spain, not far from the French border. Their house has been built up around a fisherman's shanty, which Dali bought with the money he got from the sale of his first painting.
In this room, Dali work, paint, the complete Dalinian philosophy. Love Gala and dream with Gala. In this corner is one table only for dinner and for food. But in this table also is one little easel and create the more fantastic paintings. This painting is created in this little corner. This the historical moment of the divine Dali passed through the soul's structure, le back of Lydia de Cadaqués in the most tragical and pathetic of my daily life, the moment of my family, expels Dali of the family because believe that Dali and gala is two people completely crazy. But one statement is necessary. The only difference between one crazy man and Dali is very simple. Dali is not crazy at all.
Salvador Felipe Jacinto Dali was born at 8:45 on the morning of May 11, 1904, the son of a liberal notary and a great art lover, and of a mother whom he worshipped, and whose death when he was 16 was an acute bereavement. He says that in order to affirm his personality, he had to fight from the time he was born against the memory of another Salvador, an elder brother who had died prematurely. All the eccentricities that I habitually perpetrate, he says, are the tragic constant of my life. I want to prove that I am not the dead brother, but the living brother. By killing my brother, I immortalize myself. In 1921, he was admitted to the Academy of Fine Arts of Madrid. 5 years later, after a succession of scandals, he was expelled.
But the family of Dali no react in this way, and because the craziness of Dali expels Dali of the family, and Dali arrived in this little room. Now Dali speaks because Livia, one crazy woman, also protect me.
We're told that his exacerbated cult of his ego, his innate love of intellectual and moral subversion, amazed and astounded his first accomplices, Federico Garcia Lorca and Luis Buñuel. But in 1929, the Surrealists enthusiastically saluted him as one of their own. By 1930, he settled in Paris and settled down to the job of transcribing his dreams and visions, and to systematically scandalize the people around him.
But it's very normal that nobody understand Dali because myself never understand my work. Never Dali understand one painting of Dali because Dali only create enigmas. And America love everything is mysterious and enigmatic.
Salvador Dali finally agreed last summer to the filming of this portrait of Salvador Dali. Thus, the director and his crew were obliged by this great occasion to bring that technical equipment to Spain, to that special Spanish corner of the Mediterranean which the master has made so very much his own. A lengthy and exhausting journey brought the movie makers to Dali's door. He seemed wary. Cameras and tape recorders were turned on. But turned on was what the divine Dali was not. Salvador Dali, would you like to speak to us about your childhood?
No!
Salvador Dali, would you like to speak to us about your painting?
No!
Salvador Dali, will you answer at least one question?
No!
Salvador Dali, do you or do you not want to do this film?
Yes.
Thank you. Salvador Dali, do you consider that birth is a traumatic experience?
You know, every time Dali is this position, Dali becoming angry. Because this is one complete idiotic question. Yes! 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 It's one traumatism.
You have, it appears, a very clear idea of your prenatal life.
Yes. Absolutely. Because already the Dr. Otto Rahn write the most eminent book about this matter, and the title is The Traumatism of Birth. And I remember in the most minute details the images the most phosphorescent, the most paradisiac, the most truculent, and the most pop art and pop art. And this is astonishing, but it's absolutely true. Dali is one pop art artist and one pop art artist before born.
Shot through with phosphenes and angelic visions, says Dali, my intra-uterine life had the color of hellfire. It was soft, motionless, and warm and sticky. My most splendid vision was that of two eggs in a frying pan without the frying pan, phosphorescent and blue-tinged, the image of an initial state that my whole imaginative life tends to reconstruct symbolically, just as it tends to overcome the horrible trauma of birth, which flings us into the hard, cold, and frightfully real world. Dali says that he likes to assimilate his birth to that of the Greek demigods, like the offspring of Leda and the swan.
Yes, because for mythological point of view, Leda make love with two different people. One, Jupiter. The second one, Tenda. Jupiter produce one egg divine, immortal. In this egg, born Gala, Hélène, my wife, and the divine Dioscure Salvador Dali. Bonjour, good morning. Is for the first time Dali born with any kind of traumatism. Little blood, symbolic blood, and milk. Again, milk of today born, and some symbolic fish of Mediterranean mythology. This is the blood of Gala and the blood of divine Dali. In the second act of Tendar, also two twins, but these two twins is absolutely mortal, usual, denke everybody. In one, two immortal twins, Gala and Dali, and the second one, usual people.
Thus Castor and Pollux, Helen and Clytemnestra are born for the second time on the solitary beach of Port Ligat in Catalonia, on the coast of Spain. Cadaqués, where Dali lives, is a tourist town, and Dali is its chief tourist attraction. People come by the busload to look at him, and he keeps himself very amiably on display. There are some who condemn this exhibitionism. Others, who may or may not know him better, claim that the genial show-off is only a mask, hiding an extremely diffident and timid man. And now an old fisherman who speaks.
Hola, Salvador. Bon dia. This is where we fishermen of Port Ligat have seen our friend Salvador at work every morning for the past 40 or more years.
The two more violent motors of Dalian imagination is first the instinct, sexual instinct, and the second the anguish of death. No one single moment in the capricious and eccentric life of divine Dali, no one single moment the spectre of death disappears. Death is all the time present in my precious life, and perhaps this is the reason of my most actual obsession, the modern hibernation.
Our friend Salvador is about to wake up his pianist.
Salvador Dali sets himself up to be a magician. There are many kinds of magicians, and Dali would have us know that he is all of them. Not only a wizard, in command of real mysteries, but a charlatan. The sort of wonder worker who sets up his pitch on the street corner, the market square. A sublime harlequin, a high priest, and also a shameless dealer in hanky-panky and sidearm snookery. More than 40 years ago, he presented the world with a new idea in men's clothing. This was a coat of black cloth with 4 buttons on the sleeve and on the front, 41 liqueur glasses, each containing creme de menthe, a fly, and a straw. This, he said, was his aphrodisiac jacket. It's not quite clear what he's trying to tell us here. It's quite all right with Dali. Mystification is his way of life.
This caducée is the most extraordinary surrealist object because it's concentric and eccentric in the same time. Everybody knows Dali peresthetic, hysterical, violent, but sometimes Dali becoming the same que le divine Hermes, one creature plenty of serenity, and in this case, this violent and antagonic animals is forced by Hermes to becoming the symbol of love one with the other and the perfect symbol of peace. You tell me that Dali like it all time, appear the same one clown. Yes, but this for me is very good recommendation because in Greek, gloom is synonymous of Hermes, and Dali is the incarnation of the divine Hermes. Bring me chocolate. Big chocolate. Papier chocolate. The pepper, you know, the pepper for enveloping the chocolate. It is the name, the pepper. Metallic, any kind of metallic, brilliant, and soft, silvering pepper.
These inventions of Salvador Dali's are sometimes conceived in the spirit of a magical transformation, sometimes as an act of discovery. And here we have the master discovering the face of death in a plastic bottle.
moment, Dali, yet one tremendous macabre effect inside the eternal body of the Venus of Milo.
Here again we have Salvador Dali attacking Greek sculpture and giving a lesson to pop artists. And now our hero, plunging courageously into the mysteries of the microscope and trick photography, integrates himself symbolically with the ultra-pure unities of a drop of milk, filmed at 3,000 images per second. Sunday morning is devoted to the coves and caves and rocky masses of Cap de Creus, which can be reached only in the Catalan fishing boats. With Gala and an old fisherman who's a childhood friend, Dali often visits this queerly grandiose and tormented spot where the mountains of the Pyrenees come down to drown in the sea. Geology, says Dali, is overwhelmed by a melancholy that could never dust off its back. This melancholy stems from its realization that time is working against it. The forms and faces which have inspired many of Dali's most famous paintings are on watch here at the entry to the Cove of Cuillera. In this painting, the celebrated soft watches appeared for the first time. This limp-seeming and tormented rock has lent its features to the face of a picture he called Persistence of Memory, which reflects the anguished fears of madness. Dali, we are told, paints the things that are behind things. In the shadows of this little arbor of his patio, he discovers Voltaire's bust. Double image, guessing game images, multiple images, visual puns.
one soft self-portrait of Dali is absolutely necessary. Tell everybody Dali is the first inventor of the soft furniture. And the first soft bibliothèque is created 35 years ago, and today becoming the symbol of pop art. In the philosophy, Dalinian philosophy, the reason, the more important of reasons, everything is soft, is because everything is necessary, possible, becoming possible, comestible. Every book is necessary, digest in the most ultra material and fetishistic manner. In the life of Dali, everything is necessary, becoming visceral. For this reason, Dali never write books, but the same St. John in the famous Apocalypse, the books for a similar, everything is similar.
This furniture is not so soft in other occasions, but is very soft in a spiritual meaning, because it's the more precious furniture of Gala, and inside every of these books is right for Dali and contain the most intimate, strange pop art is synonymous of Dali, because everybody remember my first definition of painting. Painting is photographic, glorious photographic in Technicolor, made by an of the more strange image of the irrationality, concrete irrationality.
More figuration, more abstraction, more craziness, more lucidity, more method, paranormal, critical method.
And the definition, exact definition of paranoid critical method is this. Paranoid critical method equal of systematic delirium of interpretation for the complete triumphal objectivation of the more delirious, crazy, and violent, irrational ideas.
Dali, obeying his own irrefutable brand of logic, left the makers of this film fairly breathless when he suddenly demanded that there be created for him a 6-meter-long shirt. This shirt, he said, would be the purest symbol denuded of any sort of significance. The splendid Catalan hog, and is, according to Dali, Dali's truest symbol.
The noise of this sacred animal, remember something very important, that tremendous light rhinoceros, and Dali loved greenish stick. Please paint this animal in green.
The hog, he says, is also a symbol of perfection. Like Dali, the hog advances without ever drawing back from the garbage heap of modern life which he digests and unceasingly restores for the greatest intellectual and physical satisfaction of his contemporaries. Besides, Dali points out that the symbol of the hog was adopted by King Charles V to replace all other symbols of perfection when he changed the inscription of the escutcheon of Spain from non plus ultra to plus ultra. Ever farther, ever higher, ever better.
Last afternoon, one very gentle Swedish newspaperman tell me, Mr. Dali, what is the significance of the sequence with one greenish peak? And the answer is very simple, because this greenish peak is myself, is my symbol. Greenish peak, le pan heroic, and super gelatinous soft peak. After blue, Dali demonstrate le lion.
For Salvador Dali, the Chinese did nothing but invent gunpowder. He gives importance only to the Mediterranean civilization, of which he considers himself the supreme heir. This being so, one is informed that the Greek folds over the spine of the pig can only add grist to the mill of his interpretive delirium. When he draws Gala, Dali truly takes himself for Vermeer, and in the image of the master of Delft, sacrifices himself to the cult of maddening love for his sole model. Personally, I wish we could hear something from Gala herself, but it seems she remained ever sphinx-like. No comment from Gala.
One dot, two dots. Gala, please, turn a little, look the sky, the clouds. Now, and smile a little. This divine, merveilleux. One other dot, yellow dot. You know, now, like it, make the more in it, listen for in honor of American people, because Dali live, another lot, live for 25 years in America and discover that American people like it better of everything, like it dots. Because the dots, the pointillism is the glory of American people. American people discover the matter is discontinuous. Plenty of pi mesons, electrons, antiprotons. And this is the more violent of any conception, because this elemental particle, l'apotheosis of this, is the atomic bomb. America is the more vital, the more violent, and the more creative of every people in the earth.
This optic object is the father of all art and consists in the superposition of parabolic lenses, and these lenses exist in the more perfect manner in the eyes of flies.
This object is perhaps the beginning of one new era in modern painting.
The alchemic meeting of pop art, pointillism, action painting, tachism, and also Meissonier's Pompierism will perhaps, it is claimed, make Dali's tuna fishing a painting as important as the soft watches of some 30 years back.
This is the symbol of today's new mutation of young musicians, people of action painting, and last developments of hysterical genius. It's very astonishing one bureaucrat with this kind of wings, but for the new generation of pop and op and LSD strange creatures is absolutely necessary to aspect almost archangelic, because in the Dalian conception, one artist is one strange character, plenty of superstitions, almost not completely masculine, not completely feminine, androgyne, because the creativity of one genius, more close of one angel, more close a one angel que one regular common man, or one regular bureaucrat.
The creative endeavors of Salvador Dali require preparatory and propitiatory rites. More concerned with keeping his own legend alive than with the immortality of his work, Dali is at his best within the mystic circle of his admirers. True or false? He feels, he says, responsible for beatniks, for what is exaggerated and paradoxical in beatnickery. He identifies with these young people who, through some sort of mutation, attempt to rid themselves of terrestrial slang. And so we are to have a happening. A happening. This is coupled with the accomplishment of Salvador Dali's imperious desire, the essential motivation of this film, to paint the sky in his own image, that of the angel of extermination and redemption. courteous man, in whom contradictorily, and I quote, all human experience is resumed. Hill man who sees farther than all others, Salvador Dali knows himself to be the depository of the secret initiation of the future. Cosmonaut of the future, throw off your spacesuit and long live Robin Hood and Tarzan. Give up this absurd voyage into space, down with Jules' bag, but run through our humble terrestrial dwelling. Long live the bicycle. Enrich your own internal richness. Long live the divine hog. Have only one goal, one desire, that to live, and to live for a long time. Long live hibernation. The quest for the Holy Grail is a noble thing, but cultivating our own garden is better.
Millet, Angelus beautiful as the accidental encounter of an umbrella and a sewing machine on a dissecting table.